In a very dire contrast to my father's childhood, I spent my youth in front of the television. When I tell you I watched too much TV as a child, I watched too much TV as a child. These two poems that I'm going to end with are from the newest project I'm working on called Surreality TV, which are poems and essays about, for better or worse, the formative role that television plays in my life. Now, they are both longer poems, and they do have a lot of references. One of the things that's typical of my poems that's not typical of my father's is cultural references. One of the admirable things about Fred's work is there's, even though he deals with things of his generation, there's a certain timeless quality to them. Unless you don't know anything about farm life, we can give the Hilton Head Prep students that were here a little survey on identifying the farm paraphernalia. But you don't need an index, you don't need a glossary of terms. Things are somewhat universal because they're natural. A lot of my poems are very culturally specific, very culturally laden, and very indicative of all this referentiality and self-referentiality. I do think, though, that I'm in a good position because these two poems may stand me in a unique position because I'm going to read you a poem about Mr. T, and I'm going to read you a poem about MTV. And I may be the only poet to ever written that. This is a poem called Mother Television and the Surrogate Family. With first after-job swagger, I entered the resort town ice cream shop, and I was unschooled in the proper forearm twist for dipping cones or washing plastic buckets, not even knowing the mnemonic righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, or how to endorse a paycheck. The boss, Mr. Edmonds, called my pitiful discount mall gold chain a Mr. T starter kit. And there was T in my mind, as he had once emblazoned my pajamas and lunchbox. Gold-plated knuckle sandwich justice with a feathered earring and a soft spot for kids. A clockwork of reinvention and surly charisma, full of gears and wonder, marketing and machismo. An apotheosis of primitivism, a mound of gleaming muscle covered with a Mandinka warrior hairstyle. At the time, I didn't know he was kicked out of college for leading student protest, or that during his celebrity bodyguard days, people hired him to track runaways. I just remembered David, Jared, my brother John, and I, we played the A-team at recess, and we all wanted to be Sergeant B.A. Baracus. 4 white kids thinking nothing of the subtext of pretending to be a black man, continually hoodwinked, drugged, and abducted. Weaker than the others, asthmatic, prone to corny jokes, I was dubbed Howling Mad Murdoch, the loony pilot who loved B.A. but taunted him with the epithet Angry Mudsucker. Now, if people talk about the A-Team, they talk about the hokey music montage of cooperation right before the final confrontation, in which unionized factory workers, handicapped vets, our farmers and their comely daughters all assembly line together to construct some far-fetched gadgetry and thwart nefarious thugs. They talk about the hundreds of automatic rifle rounds and dozens of grenade explosions which never lead to any fatalities caused by the heroes. They talk about the modern cowboy mythos, the Robin Hood motif, about authority as bogus, corrupt, or impotent, about the jazz, and living on the edge, living by your own code. But the show's true message, what really resonated, was belonging. Simple belonging. The discovery of your tribe of the heart, the unlikely surrogate family, the unbreakable bonds of acceptance. This message was everywhere in the pop culture of my youth. Gilligan's Island, with its shallow notions of identity, as easy as the label starlet or farm girl, as fixed as a red shirt and a navy cap, promised two beautiful lies. First, that no shipwreck was beyond rescue except by our own mistakes. And second, that there is no bungling beyond forgiveness. Cheers, The Facts of Life, Silver Spoons, WKRP in Cincinnati, Alice, every show with its own cobbled together togetherness. No commerce-driven non sequitur. No tragically hip, self-referential winking irony of today's Sprint family plan. An earnest simulcast fantasy of a new commensality with no Judas. Everyone with a place at the table. No one left alone in the dark behind the eyes. All right, some summers ago, a few summers back, I was chagrined to hear making the rounds through all the media that MTV was turning 30. Celebrating his 30th birthday. I found this very difficult to accept, believe. I started meditating on the cultural significance of the various iterations of MTV, its fall, its rise, all of these sorts of things, and trying to figure out what this meant to me, that I'd spent so many hours watching all these music videos. The poem's called MTV Turns 30. Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll, and the triumph of marketing disguised as a cultural revolution. Video killed the radio star turned out to be prophetic, but not the whole story. Some stars couldn't transition, as unfit for the new medium as Clara Bow had been for talkies. My adolescent dreams, however, are filled with those Dada videos, like the Cabaret Voltaire exploding in a fisheye lens. There is Rick Ocasek, a supermodel dating Wraith, rocking against a backdrop of morphing Hans Arp-esque figures. And there is Devo, like nothing else in all of Ohio, too cool for sleeves, anthropomorphic sprinkler heads, an S&M Tupperware sideshow come to hee-haw land. Remote Control gave us Colin Quinn and Adam Sandler, while Ken Ober forged in the smithy of his basement the collective unconscious of suburban youth and their ultimate hope for cool geekiness. Coverage of Spring Break featured endless rolling dunes of bronzed bodies, as lively as any stock footage of 1960s youth rallies, but united not for peace and free love, but for buff. A flexing, bouncing proof theorem for the democratization of sexual beauty. Like the loner in the train station, sure that with all such departures and arrivals, there must somewhere be some happy endings. Amidst all the décolletage, the hard rock abs, it was impossible to imagine failure or a pasty body. One even felt that all those hedonist and Bret Easton Ellis novels might be okay somehow. Yo, MTV Raps fed slang into the vernacular quicker than any beatnik, Hep Cat, or Daddy-O ever split Antsville to spread some long green and let the boogie-woogie roll. Beavis and Butthead broke Einricher's assertion about TV characters never being depicted for long sequences watching TV. And they turned moronic laughter into ersatz satire. The real world codified the plausibility of reality television and engendered the current states of affair that purists and Nick at Nighters lament, the way that some classical scholars mourn the burning of Alexandria. MTV too launched uninterrupted videos to show the cyclical nature of trends, diversification as undying as movie monsters from drive-in creature features, whose 1950s fans must surely have thought of them as inexhaustible. Happy birthday, eclectic montage maker. Happy birthday, purveyor of Iron Maiden, Run DMC, and U2, champions of the Go-Go's, ZZ Top, and Depeche Mode. Happy Birthday, Slicer, Dicer, Reifier of David Bowie, Pet Shop Boys, Twisted Sister, Keeper of Our Heart, and the Police. You're still young enough to party. On the news today, there's a story about metalheads on the rise in Botswana. But on American MTV, it's all Teen Wolf and Jim Tan Laundry on the Jersey Shore. And some little sociologist professor at the blackboard behind my eyelids wants to say the whole saga is just a gateway drug in the history of culture's addiction to image. But I still want my MTV. And its marriage of power chords and electric cave painting, its quick-cut editing desire as valid as any form of desire, a striving, a generation reaching out to plant its logo flag on the moon of wonder. Close your eyes. There's Peter Gabriel, waiting to be your sledgehammer. There's Michael Jackson, wearing the moon's lost white glove. There's Madonna, a modern-day Lilith with her lion, the beauty and the beast, like a virgin. Peter Gabriel, his bad hair cuff shifting as he crescendos the roller coaster tracks of claymation bumper cars kissing his cheeks, the ultimate expression of metaphor, nothing contained, nothing fixed, nothing staying itself.